Welcome back, Lenz Comic Corner, classic, non-classic. This is episode number 1132 in Doubleshot number 1026. Two X-Men related trades. First up is the second and final trade for X-Men Red, Waging Peace. Written by Tom Taylor, artwork by, I think about a couple different artists on here. Yeah, at least two. For the majority of the issues, it's, for verse 3, it's Carmine Carino, that's issue 6 through 8. The final 3, 9 through 11 are by Rage Carito. The cover art is done by Travis Curry, this issue 6, and the rest are by Jenny Ferguson. Now, the story, in case you forgot basically about this particular series, is that the X-Men basically hiding out in Atlantis because of Cassandra Nova. Yep, and Jean Grey wants to try to end anti-mutant segment that's been happening for years. She's trying to, but Cassandra Nova keeps getting in the way. And no matter how many times I try to explain it, there was at one point in this particular book, she sent out a fake image of Jean Grey, and it was easily pointed out, though, that it was fake because of how the thing moved. Now, in the series, apparently Cassandra Nova had kidnapped Rachel Grey, Jean's daughter, though she hasn't called herself. Like, here's kind of the strange thing. Rachel knows that Jean Grey is her mother, and Jean Grey knows that Rachel's her daughter. But does Rachel call her mom? Nope, she doesn't. Which I'm thinking, that's kind of weird. Yeah, it's one of those, here's the thing, over the years, a lot of the time, basically, how Rachel Grey is treated by the X-Men writers is quite strange. If Jean Grey is around, we can't have Rachel Grey. And now apparently it is okay for Rachel Grey to be hanging out in prison even though Jean Grey is alive. Because usually when Jean Grey is not around, Rachel Grey is around, her daughter, her beautiful daughter. And in the end of this miniseries, she also teams up with the Avengers. Yep, declare their names from the start of the series. Namor, who doesn't do much until she fights a Sentinel of all things. Yes, a Sentinel. That is a Sentinel? No, it was some creature that attacked. Oh yeah. I know who attacked. Yeah, Tom Taylor brought back Teen Abomination. Yes, Teen Abomination. A character he created for his Superior Iron Man series. Which, after he finished up the arc that he appeared in, he next appeared in the Howling Commandos of S.H.I.E.L.D., which was a short-lived comic book. Only lasted about 6 issues, got canceled. Popped up in issue Old Man Logan, and now he appears here. Interesting though, Tom Taylor said bring this character back, and they bring up his history. Don't bring up the fact that he's the son of Tony Stark's late bodyguard. Yeah, don't bring that up, but they bring up his name, who he is. And I like the fact Namor got a chance to fight. I thought that was cool. And the way they defeated Cassandra Nova was quite interesting. They decided to make replicas of Magneto's helmet, which functions the same way as his helmet, put them on their head and basically prevent her from getting through heads. Eventually, Cassandra Nova is defeated, and peace is basically started, and that's the series. Now, in case you wonder what happened to the X-Men's base, Atlantis, nothing. It probably still on the ocean floor, but currently they're not living there anymore. They're not even living in the Salem, the New York, the Xavier Institute for Mutant Outreach. That was Central Park. Yeah, that was destroyed in the first arc of the X-Men Assemble storyline, which came out right after this one ended. Interesting storyline, and yeah, final thoughts on the series? It's a good series. Too bad it got canceled after 11 issues. Yeah, I have no idea why. I'm like, yeah, this is supposed to be a replacement for Jean Grey, and yet this book got canceled after just quickly 11 issues. And this was the third book they released with these color names. Yeah, of course, X-Men Black, but that was a series of one-shots. But this series is really good. It had a fantastic lineup. Jean Grey, Nightcrawler, Namor, first time appearing in the X-Book since like 2012. Treasury, who I think is a minor X-Man. Storm. We actually had Laura appearing here as Wolverine. Gabby. It's an absolute really good series. Just too bad Marvel canceled at 11 issues. I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Why do I think the book got canceled? Well, probably because Tom Taylor thought he was done with it. Though of all the X books, this is by far the first. This is by far the shortest tenure for an X book I have ever seen. 11 issues. Gold and Blue lasted for 36, and yet this lasted for 11 issues. Yeah, it is, like I said, the shortest title I have ever seen. And there's no real reason why. It could be possible to cancel those sales. That's possible, but I've never heard a definitive reason why the series got canceled. But it's an overall really good series. I kind of wish I could explain what happened to X Atlantis because the characters themselves are still around, though Laura herself got stripped of her identity as Wolverine. For some stupid reason. I have no idea why. And speaking of Laura and her being X-23, here is the original X-23 ongoing series. This is the first to collect technically the third volume of X-23 that lasts for 21 issues. This book collects for 6 issues of this 20-issue comic book that lasted from 2010 to 2011. Anybody thinking, how in the world did they release 21 issues in a year? By releasing 2 issues a month. Yep. This is written by Marjorie Liu. Artwork is by Will Conrad. With Sana Tanika on issue 3. Now, the thing with this, despite the fact, here's the thing. On several of the covers, especially this one here, Laura is clearly wearing her X-Force costume. In the book, she never puts on the costume, not in these issues. Nope, she's always wearing street clothes. There is a debut of a new character makes debut here, which this character make a return in X-Men Blue. And this is Miss Sinister. Yep, the female clone of Mr. Sinister. Yeah, she pops up in here. Helion appears in this book as a recurring character. Yeah, he appears pretty heavily throughout most of the entire series, up until the series end. We also have appearance by Gambit. Yeah, Gambit actually appears in this book. And yes, Tom Taylor wants to borrow the idea of Gambit appearing in her book. Now, the thing with how Laura is drawn in here, and how tall she is, it looks like she's about 16, 17 years, basically kind of look like the way she is now. She's drawn to be very tall. Yeah. Though I should point out, though, this takes place right at the event's Second Coming, and during the event of Wolverine Goes to Hell. Why? Because the first issue opens with Wolverine in Hell. Yeah. That's a tie-in to Wolverine Goes to Hell storyline by Jason Aaron. I like the fact they reference that in here because, well, that was going on at that point, so why not? Yep. And you remember reading this book like, wait, why in the world are Emma Frost... You're probably thinking, if you weren't reading the X books at this period of time, you're probably thinking, why the heck are Emma Frost and Scott Summers a couple? Okay, there is a explanation for that. That was something Grant Morrison did. Because they killed off Jean Grey, so have Scott Summers hook up with Emma Frost. And by the way, he did it the most inappropriate way possible. How? By having these two make out at Jean Grey's grave. I am not kidding about that. And by the way, the writer who did the last couple issues of New X-Men was called that. Had Beast written that way, where he called him out like, why the heck? Like, you two want to start a relationship, fine. Why did you have to make out in front of your dead wife's grave, Scott? And he has no answer for that. Now, as for why this relationship lasted for long as it did, in case you're wondering, how long did the relationship between Scott Summers and Emma Frost last for? It lasted for 8 years. Lasted from 2004 up until 2012. The end of the relationship during the events of AVX. Which, from what I've heard from like one person, that this relationship was not popular with a lot of people, and yet Marvel persists in this relationship. Despite the fact Emma Frost had no attraction to Emma. Now here's the thing. Prior to Grant Morrison doing X-Men, Emma Frost had no attraction to Scott Summers at all, because Scott Summers was always head over heels for Jean Grey. And then he had it where during a run, he had Emma Frost have a psychic affair with Scott Summers. Basically, the relationship happened in their heads. Never happened physically. Yep. And Laura's still at the X Nation, which is Utopia. Yeah, that was something established in 2009. In case you're wondering, which writer created this thing? Who established this thing? This was Matt Fraction's doing. Yes, Matt Fraction was responsible for this. Utopia was, to put, the former asteroid M, the former home of Magneto. That's the whole purpose of that. And there was mention here about X-23's time in X-Force. That was, of course, written by her creators, Chris Yost and Craig Kyle. Yep. Yeah, so there's a mention that in here. I mean, there's also hints of an attraction her and Helion. Yeah, it doesn't go much any place at all, but I will discuss it whenever I get a chance to get my hands on the final trade of the collector's series. Yeah, this series is only collecting about 4 trades, surprisingly. Yeah, it's not that long of a series. Excuse me. Yeah, mostly put X-23 is trying to just deal with some stuff she was doing, like trying to offer redemption, doing her own thing. But I'm like, Margie Lou, why would you have her in costume? Why would you have her in street clothes for? Also, they have her in like various different outfits. Like every cover has different outfit. Like the cover in the trade, that's actually the cover for issue number 1. And Laura's always picked as a very tall woman. Yeah. Issue 2 has her shooting out her claws and standing like this. And yes, that is issue 2. 3 has her basically wearing completely different attire, wearing these belt boots, long pants. Yeah, this is the cover for issue 3. Yeah, this issue is also the debut of Miss Sinister. And here's issue 4, which has her in her X-Force costume, which, no, she does not wear this costume in the book at all. Nope, she doesn't. Now you're probably thinking, she's daughter Wolverine, and yet she has 2 claws in her hand. Where's the third? Okay, here's Miss Sinister. This babe is Miss Sinister. Like, damn, she is smoking hot. Ooh, my. Yep, that's Miss Sinister for you. It's like she was specifically created to be a villain for Laura. 5, of course, is the back issue cover with her and Gambit. 6 is basically Miss Sinister standing over Laura, which makes the only cover, one of 2, not feature solely Laura. That's the way Laura was the first 4, it's just her by herself. But this is a good start for the series. Now you're probably thinking, wait, X-23, I thought she's Wolverine now. This is 2010, this is before she took up TNT Wolverine. I'm surprised, though, that no one has ever pointed this out, though, is that artists, the way they draw Laura, she's always, like in this book here, she's depicted as being very tall. I mean, looking at her in the all-new Wolverine book and this book, she's the same height. She looks like she's about... She's taller like a lot of the girls there at the exit. Like a lot of the, I think she's, from what I can tell, she looks like she's about the same height as Kitty Pryde. Yep, same height. How old she is, I think she's about 16 at this point, because currently she's about 18. Yeah. But this is a good start for her series. And the next trade is a crossover with her brother, Daken. Though at that point they referred to as... Here's the thing. At this point, they thought she was Wolverine's clone sister. That was later changed and confirmed that she is in fact Wolverine's daughter, not his sister. Yes. Despite the fact that she was created via cloning, technically she is the daughter of Wolverine, because she has the DNA of her, from him, and her mother, Sarah McKinley. Yeah. This book is really good. And I do recommend it for people fans of Laura. Like, if you want to get started with her, this is one of the places you can start. But if you want to know a good start for it, it's probably going to be NYX, which is the first comic appearance. That's a good start for her, but this is also for a good start. It's also a good prerequisite for her all-new Wolverine series. Good book. Give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Damn good book. Can't wait to review Collision, which comes right after this one, which caused me her brother. I will discuss her brother's book and how weird the name is and the numbering. I'll discuss that when I come my corner. Okay, so that's it for this particular review. My next review is going to be a review of the newest episode of One Piece. And I'm also doing reviews for Blue Exorcist. Yeah, I'm going to do a review of that today. And there's also Boruto. And probably another One Piece review. Yeah, basically I have 4 more videos today. So, One Piece. Well, the main one, a review one. Blue Exorcist and Boruto. Okay? See you next video. Bye.